there in the 80s and early 90s? Like Zion postulates, maybe back then, from the moment the girl is born, the father already knows, this one will go marry him. So he's already prepared. But these days, the quick notice comes when there's a proposal. Like I said, when my friend proposed to his now wife, it was this was way before Instagram was a thing back then, right? This was 2013 or 14, thereabout. But we all recorded it on our little Nokia phones and BlackBerry phones back in those days. In fact, I should ask for that video. Maybe I'll post it. You see, his wife, that's his father-in-law, his wife's father, his father-in-law, was so emotional. So emotional that, I remember clearly, after all of the celebrations that evening, he took his daughter aside, and for nearly 30, 40 minutes, they were just talking. It was then I found out, maybe like the following day, I found out that, growing up, this is his first daughter. All right. And growing up, she was like his handbag because he and the mother, all right, and her mother were working. But as the child grew up, 1 year, 2 years, the child just naturally would, stick with the father. So when the father would go to work, he would carry her along. When she would go to school, he would be more often than not the first person to be there to carry the child home. When he started his business and was doing well, he had no qualms, apparently, taking the daughter to the site. That is an engineer. This is what daddy does. Come, now my picking be this. So his workers knew his child before they knew the mother. It was touching. In fact, if I'm honest, that was my very first experience seeing a father that close to a child. I have to be very honest. That was my very first experience. The way they related was something else. Yes, you could tell there was respect because she was daddy, but there was a friendship there that prior to that experience I had never seen. It wasn't a far father kind of relationship. It was this is my friend type of relationship. How many daughters could boast that they knew their father's password? How many daughters could boast that they knew their father's accounts? How many daughters could boast that their father would send them to meetings, to businesses, to represent him, just to hear what they were saying when he wasn't opportune? How many daughters? And this wasn't like the child was like 25 or 30. The child was like 18, 16. The father had so much trust in her. So maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe that's why. Fathers. Well, IJ here says, Jude, good morning. See, what you see these days is a shift. I think more men are becoming more expressive and more vocal, more protective of their daughters. We need more men, particularly Nigerian men, to be showing the young men these days how to truly love and care for the females in their life. If these men that you've shared with us this morning were multiplied by 1,000, Jude, we would hear less of these fights and beatings women go through in their marriages. We would hear less of women who are fighting other women because of a man. If a man can show a woman, in this case, his daughter, this kind of love to the extent that he's crying on a day like this, it goes to show you that men can do it. Men, please pay attention. Love the women around you. Let them feel your presence. IJ is saying. this thing about wedding emotions now. Now I want to go and attend the wedding. Please, if you know you have a wedding coming up and you won't mind an extra mouth to feed, please, do let me know. Do let me know. 01793 0002 0817923 0003. All right. This one says, as I take away from my three, says this sudden increase in these supposed tears of joy is the fact that these girls have been known to be more impactful, useful, and caring towards their parents more than the guys who from antiquity was thought to be the more important than the female counterparts. Reality has hit us now to know that the girls are more useful at old age, especially if they mistakenly have some financial muscle attached to them. A well-trained female child is worth more than gold in the hands of an aged parent. They cry for what they will begin to lose. The love is very strong. Asetikoe. The love is very strong, he says. This one says, fathers cry. Are you kidding me? Except he has turned her into an imbecile and sleeping with her. And when he gets out of his spouse or the man, he knows he's crying for her. He gets into home, misbehavior, anything, cooking, chores. There's nothing to write him about. Meanwhile, the father is crying. I don't want my daughters to suffer. How so when you're taking care of her? All right. So the person is missing an incestuous life. That's why he's crying. Really? You think that's the reason? No name to this account, though. You think that's the reason why a father? It's interesting. I'm not surprised. At the same time, I'm kind of surprised that I'm getting this comment. But you think the reason why some men are emotional is because the man is having an unnatural relationship with his daughter. Well, what do you know? There's always one everywhere, isn't there? Anyway, thank you very much. Good morning.